Welcome back, everyone. I've got my business bestie, Elizabeth Henson, on the podcast, and I feel like this is your third episode. This should be like a quarterly thing.
I think this is episode number 3. I'm like, we just got our biz bestie episodes going on.
It should be a ritual by now because we talk business all day on Voxer, and I'm like, let's just bring this conversation to the podcast on a regular basis. So today, we're talking about unpopular opinions in entrepreneurship. And Liz, I wanted to talk to you about this because I feel like we're always talking about unpopular opinions with each other. And someone, I posted something. The reason why this came up is I posted something a couple weeks ago. And I got so many like DMs and emails and people like, I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe that you gave that advice. And I'm like, what?
I know. Like, and I was all in your ear. I was like, oh no, we're going to talk about this.
So today we're going to talk about it. So we have 4 unpopular opinions that both you and I mean, we've been friends and business owners for 11 plus years. So I feel like these are 4 that we really strongly believe in. Like we stand on business with them.
Yes.
So I'm going to share them one at a time and we'll just kind of like give our thoughts. So the first one, the one that made me want to do this podcast episode, an unpopular opinion. An unpopular opinion that sometimes working for free can actually be your best investment.
100%.
And 100% at any level in business, whether you just started your business 5 months ago, or whether you've been in business like us for 11 years or 20 years, sometimes working for free can be your best investment. And this is what made me bring up this episode is because a couple weeks ago, I was going to your event. I was going to your networking event and I hopped on live, did an email, all these things about how I took my camera and took headshots of some of the girls who were at your event for free. And I hopped on live and I was like, you guys, I have been doing this for over a decade and it always brings in new relationships, referrals, clients, bookings, all of that things. And so many DMs, emails are like, Angie, I can't believe you're telling people to shoot for free. I can't believe you're telling people to, take their talent and just shoot for free. And I'm telling you, like, this can be like, I don't see it as shooting for free.
No,
I see it as an investment. It's an investment on your time, your craft, your energy that can bring in so much value. I mean, we've been doing this. Like Liz is also a photographer. We started in the wedding space. Like at weddings, we would literally take photos of the event planner, like the officiant, the DJ, and gift them those photos. Like that's for free. And what happens? They refer you out to their clients. They bring your name up in a room. Like it always comes back to you. So like, how do you feel about that? I'm
not even shooting weddings anymore. And I get inquiries from a venue that same thing. I just sent them pictures and I'm like, I'm still getting inquiries from that. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, we're already there working. It doesn't hurt anything to take pictures and share them.
Right. And it's not even like, it's so much bigger than photography. It's just literally whatever you do in your business. Like when you and I were talking about this, I was like, look at all the things that we do for free that brings in sales. Hopping on a sales call is free. Yeah. Like a 30-minute sales call where you're just not pitching someone. My sales call is like, it's basically a coaching call. I'm like, okay, what do we got to do here to grow your business? That's 30 minutes of my time that I otherwise would have charged for. That's free. Hosting a free class. An hour of your time to teach it, more time to prep it, follow up, that's free. All of these things are not just doing work for free. It is adding value to the world, to your potential clients, to your community, and knowing that that value is going to cause a ripple effect. And it's going to bring people into your world. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, this was when you were at my event, this was a free event. And it's like one of my favorite beliefs to bust because people will say, oh, I'm not going to do anything for free. And I'm like, but wait, you're at my free event, right? And I'm like, and there's nothing that would make me happier than to be in the room with those women hosting that event, even if it's for $0, because I just trust that ripple effect, right? Give me the people and I will help them.
Yeah. Abundance. It's really an abundance mindset over scarcity. And, you know, I swear, if Drake ever reached out and said, I need new photos, there's not a dollar amount I could even put on that. Like,
Yeah.
tell me where to be. Tell me what country to come to. I don't care. Like, I know
Seriously.
that value is going to bring so much back to my business. And me personally, it's going to bring a lot of value. So I just, it was so interesting that the reception that I got from that, and it was all in love. Like, nobody was like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. They were genuinely just like,
Wait a
help me
minute.
to understand, like, make this make sense. And the way that I was able to respond and give that feedback, they're like, oh, okay. Like I see it now, you know? So
And it took you 9 minutes. 9
Yeah.
minutes. Because you were like, I
Yes.
timed it. 9 minutes at the event.
Did you
And
really?
sent, I mean, and you sent like 7 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
A
that's,
fresh
I'm
headshot.
guessing, fresh headshot.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
everyone was so grateful. And it's
Yeah.
not like you're doing this every week or every month, even maybe
Right.
like twice a year. And
Right.
you had a
Mhm.
lot of other really good reasons for doing it too. You were like, Liz, I want B-roll. I want behind the scenes. I want to make
Leverage
sure
it.
that I'm
Yes.
showing my craft.
Yes. Leverage, leverage, leverage. Like, literally, it is just the gift that can keep on giving for you. It wasn't just like,
Yeah.
oh, I helped the people there get new headshots. Like, now I've got content. Now I've got
Yeah.
Instagram stories and
Yes.
TikTok and all that stuff. And,
And
just
you
really
knew it was
think
a good
about,
location. Like you knew it would look good.
great lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. And, at some point you just have to realize, like, you've got to try something new. You've got to try something new. And sometimes that might be saying, I'm going to try this new service. Like, maybe I want to add a new service onto my package. And instead of charging for it, you might be like, I don't know how this service is going to go. Let me just gift this to my
Yes.
client, see how it works. And then they love it. And then great, you've got a testimonial, you've got proof of concept. And now you can charge 3x when you work with your next client. So I wanted to chit chat about that because that was an interesting reception I got to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Instagram
mean, I
post.
find almost like the people I admire most and the more successful business owners and the more successful they become, they're giving more. And because I know I used to kind of be in that mindset of like, oh, I can't do anything. I can't host a meetup for free. Like I've got to charge for my time. The more people that I can help in front of other people, the more, the more people I can reach, the more people are going to be talking about it. And the more people are just going to be spreading my vision and my mission.
Right.
And to me, when I'm trying to decide what to say yes to and what to say no to, does it feel like a gift to me? And to me, to host a room full of women and talk about business, like that's my love language. That feels like a gift to me.
Yeah.
And then so many of them end up wanting to work with me in some capacity or wanting to work with each other. And there's just this ripple effect that's unmatched.
Right. And the thing when you said, yes or no, like the thing about this, it's literally up to you. We're not saying go out and do everything for free. It's your business. It's your life. You set your boundaries. Maybe like I said, like specifically for me for photography, I don't do this at every single event. I pick and choose what events I might take my camera out and take some photos for. I did this at an event you and I went to back in, was it Annapolis? When we went to the
so many years
Freshly
ago.
Implemented.
Yes, and you got one of your biggest clients.
A quarterly, I think she was my first quarterly branding client. We had paid for the event. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring my camera and take some photos like for the host. I always like to take like photos for the host if they don't have a photographer there. And one of the speakers literally was there. And I think maybe 6 months later, we'd connected and 6 months later, she'd booked me for a quarterly branding package. And, that was from just a couple of photos that I took there for free. So don't sleep on it, y'all. Don't sleep on it. And make your terms.
Yes.
And make your own terms. Make your own terms. This is not a blanket statement of everybody should work for free at any point. No, it's just there will be opportunities there, and don't just sleep on them because you think, oh, I'm not getting paid a specific dollar amount for it.
And that's a good way to look at it. Is like, is this an opportunity or is this just someone asking me to give up my time? Or, most of the time it's us offering, us kind of controlling that space in that environment. but
Right.
that's such a beautiful word to use for it, is like, this is an opportunity.
I love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So number 2, the second unpopular opinion I have is that we should embrace and collaborate with competitors.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this was me and you,
Because
right? Like back in
yeah,
the
we
day,
were
this was us.
literally competitors for
Yeah.
sure. We were both wedding photographers in the same local markets, literally on the same vendor list from the same venues. Like we were competitors and we love collaborating.
Oh my God. We were shooting weddings together. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
I would be friends with your brides and you would be friends with my
Yep.
brides. And we just
Yep.
never gave it a second thought. Like
Mm-hmm.
it never
Mm-hmm.
felt like, oh my God, are my people going to end up hiring Angie, and vice versa. We had very different shooting styles, which I think really
Yeah.
helped. But
Shooting, editing,
yeah,
everything, really.
we were just happy to be working
And
together.
yeah, we've shot alongside each other. We've hosted events together, like local networking events together. And I put this down because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, this person just launched her business very similar to mine in my
Mm,
market. Like, I'm done for. Like, I'm going out of business. I can't believe she would do this, da 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 da." And I'm just like, if you don't go and meet this girl for coffee
yes, that's the
and
best thing you can
connect.
do. Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
the best thing you can do. And
yeah,
I'm kind of like team like protect your business and get trademarks over here. But
for
that's not
sure.
because I'm
Hmm.
going after people. That's because I don't want
Right.
someone to ever come to me and say, you
Yeah.
can't use this phrase or you can't do this. But I'm like,
Mhm.
whatever. I
Mhm.
don't care what other people are doing.
Yeah. Literally the first time you and I really like connected, we'd met at an event first.
Yep.
We had met at Amanda's event and then I hit you up and I was like, "Let's go get some models and shoot at the beach."
Yeah.
And
And
just
this was
like
for
switch
free. This
off and
was for fun.
everything.
Yeah.
For this is literally unpopular opinion 1 and unpopular opinion 2. We
We
both
just wanted to
work for
practice.
free.
And all those
Yeah.
models got free pictures from like 3 different
Yeah.
photographers. Yeah.
Yeah, and our portfolios were like, whew, I remember that beach shoot. Like,
Yeah.
man, we were killing it. Like,
Yeah.
that was a beautiful shoot.
It really was.
And
Yeah.
and like I said, number 1 and number 2, like we did something for free. Like it was a passion project basically, and we worked together instead
Mhm.
of
We both
against each
shared the
other.
pictures. It wasn't like, "Oh, Angie,
Mhm.
you only share this model," and we both shared
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3 is the third unpopular opinion is that you should really be sharing the steps of the journey and not just
Mm.
waiting to share the destination, the perfection, the final project. I jotted this down because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm just like working on this behind the scenes and then I'm going to launch it and everyone's going to love it."
Yep.
And I'm like, there's so much space to bring people along for the ride and get them excited about what you're doing in comparison to, okay, I'm doing this now. Here it is. Check it out.
Yeah.
Like
This is one of my
I see
favorites.
that all the time.
This is one of my favorites. This has been in my signature community building talks for the last 7 years, because when
Mm-hmm.
I started my photography journey, what worked, and you did the same, was we were
Yeah.
sharing the images as we were practicing, as we were learning. So
Mm-hmm.
people were
Mm-hmm.
following our journey, whether they were nosy and wanted to see if we were going to fail or whether they were actually interested, they were following the journey. And if you
Yeah.
think about
Uh-huh.
the best authors, they do not just show up with a new book. They are talking about
Yeah.
it and promoting
Yeah.
that book as they are writing it. And so
Exactly.
many photographers think they have to be so skilled and so talented right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat to build a community, to build a following. And it's the opposite. Show those
Right.
ugly pictures. I was
Yeah.
blogging. I was blogging about getting
Uh-huh.
bokeh blurry background for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all there. It's all in the
It's
archives.
exciting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting. It's like, look what I learned to do. It's like it's just showing how passionate you are about
Yes.
what you're doing. And I see this a lot with entrepreneurs who are launching a website. I see this a lot. They all of a sudden, "Hey, go check out my website." And that's the first thing you've heard about it ever. And I'm
Yep.
just like, you've missed such a massive opportunity to this week, I'm working on the copy for my about page. Here's
Yep.
what I'm thinking. Or this week, I'm selecting the photos to go on my homepage, or I'm working on an opt-in. Like, let's just think about the 2 marketing strategies here. A, hey, I launched a new website. Go check it out. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good for
Yeah.
you. Or B, pull back 4 to 6 weeks, I've got a new template. I can't wait to see how my photos look here. And I'm really working on copy. Here's how I'm using Chat GPT to like refine my homepage, like taking people on that journey. And then y'all, the blood, sweat, and tears it's been done. The website is live. Go check it out. I'm running. Like, I want to see all you've been working on. But if you're just telling me on a random Tuesday morning that you have a new website, like, who cares?
Yes. You haven't built that rapport. I mean, and that's why we were able to build successful photography businesses so fast, because we were building that audience, those community members, that clientele along the way. I mean, I shot for like a year just practicing, and so many of those people shared those pictures and shared those pictures and shared those pictures.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, again, the ripple effect.
I also think about this from even like a course creator standpoint or a digital product, someone who's creating something. When I was moving into the education space, I was doing behind the scenes video. So I had my videographer come out with me, and it wasn't like, hey guys, I'm now the authority in this. Come buy my course on this. Here's the course. No, months in advance, I'm sharing, what questions do you have about this? I'm working on a module about marketing or about, pricing, and I'm actually going out and shooting a photo shoot. It's all going to be in the program. So look at some Instagram stories of what I'm like. What do you want to see? Do you want me to go over, like, bringing people in the journey? So if you're listening to this and you literally, any type of entrepreneur that is getting ready to launch something and you have not talked about it yet, really think about how you can be making this an exciting, fun, like create FOMO, like this huge project that people are going to find so much value in when you launch it because of the work that you have shown on the way.
The blood, sweat, and tears. And gosh, if you think about it, if you look at both of our journeys when it comes to photography and coaching, really, we were doing all three of these unpopular opinions, right? Because we were doing those shoots together for free. Together, number 2. And then number 3, it's like, what was number 3 again?
Number 3 is sharing the journey, not just
and we
the
were both
destination.
sharing about it. So you invited me to do the shoot as my competition. We did that photo shoot at the beach for free, blessed those women with beautiful pictures. And then you and I both shared about it. Hey, I just got together with my friend Angie. We got these models, whatever. And we shared about it. So all 3 of those unpopular opinions we did, which is what skyrocketed our business so freaking fast.
For sure.
And the 4th one, I'm sure we did at the same time too.
Number 4, let's go into it. Number 4, the 4th unpopular opinion is running your business does not have to mean working 24/7. Yes. People will say, oh, I quit my 9 to 5 to work 24/7. Why? Why?
I know.
You are your own boss. Make your own schedule.
I made a funny joke the other day about, like, my boss is going to be really mad at me. I mean, it's so true. And I will say, like, there have been times where you and I have worked around the clock, especially with photography. I mean, when the beginning, God, I was so obsessed, right? Like, I get really into these projects and I will work. I don't really do it anymore because I'm like, now I got kids. Like, my life looks totally different than it did 10 years ago. And we were doing it because we loved it, not because we had to, right? Not because we had to. We choose and chose when to work that much. But right now in my business, I'm having the most fun. I'm making the most money. And I am so obsessed with my schedule because I work like 10 to 2. That 8 to 10 is like my alone time. I work 10 to 2. And I'm having so many of these I love my life moments.
Yeah.
And that's that. Like, I get to get my kids off the bus, and then I choose, do I want to take an appointment this afternoon? Do I want to go to this event over the weekend? Right. It's always my choice. And I think
it is your choice.
Yeah. There's this misconception about boundaries. Like, they're not following my boundaries. Our boundaries are our responsibility. So as the business owner, and we create our schedule. Cut them off. Yes, that's our responsibility. That's not on our customers, right? People think I'm crazy because I give my students Voxer access to me. all the time, but I'm like, that's my responsibility to curate when I check it. That's not their
Right.
responsibility to, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is
Right.
one of the most
And
fun topics for me.
boundaries are so important. Having the boundary is the difference between working 24/7 to working your own schedule. Like, you
Yes.
don't have to work around the clock. You can have your own set hours. You can have your set days that are, specifically used for certain things. So for example, my Mondays, I think this is the first year in my entire business that I'm like, there's no meeting Mondays. Not doing
Mhm.
Zoom calls, not doing podcast interviews. I don't even want to put on makeup. Like, I barely put on makeup today. This is like half a layer right here.
Same here. I'm regretting it. I have regrets. I have regrets.
And so it's like no meeting Mondays, because I know that I need to start my week very intentional, planning things out. I do like my CFO hour. Like, I want to know like the income, the expenses that are coming in. Like, I reserve that Monday. And I've had people say like, I can only shoot on Monday. I can only do this on Monday. And I don't have to just go with that. I can say, okay, well, I actually can't. So I can do Tuesday through Friday. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why we give people authority and ownership over our own schedule. And I'm saying this as like, if I could hear myself saying this 6 years ago, I probably would have laughed, because
Yeah.
this was not me for the longest time. I
Yeah.
just was so, I've got to shoot this. She can only do it this day, and I can only meet this person this day. Like, I would just like relinquish myself to someone else's schedule and life and boundaries. And now I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
this is my life. I know when I thrive, how I thrive. And if you're not setting yourself up for that, it's not going to happen, because nobody else can do that but you. Nobody
Yeah.
else can do that.
Yeah.
This
It's our
goes for even
responsibility.
like, yeah, this goes for even taking time off. A lot of entrepreneurs have trouble taking time off. And I'm like, you don't have to go and get a boss to sign a slip. Like, you are
Yep.
in the perfect position to have December off or a summer off. Like, I went to Orange County, California for 30 days last year, and I planned it out. Never in my life would I have thought that I could just take a month off. And this was like
Yeah.
off. Like, I went with my kids. This wasn't like me shooting through California. Like, no, this is like, we're going there. We're staying in a house. We're going to the beach. We're going to Disneyland, all that good stuff. And I had to set myself up for that
You planned it. Yeah.
months
Yeah.
in advance.
Yeah.
Planning. I had to make a crap ton of money, because Orange County is the most expensive place in the United States. Like,
Yeah.
I did like 14 photo shoots in like 20 days. I was like, I'm making this happen. And like you said, we do go in those seasons. That
Yeah.
season where I had 14 photo shoots in a month. Oh, I was working 24/7.
Yeah.
But trust and believe, when I was at Disneyland in July, I was like, thank God I did that.
Yes.
Like,
Well, and if you think about
you're flexible.
people that work a 9 to 5, they can't work in those seasons, right? They can't build their calendar and their year to satisfy their kind of energetic needs, or like to be able to slow down in the summer with their kids. I mean, we get to make that choice. And like you said, 6 years ago, you and I both had a completely different relationship with all of this. Like, we had to debunk the beliefs that hard work equals money, right? We had to debunk this relationship with time. I used to feel like I never had enough time. And now I truly live in this space of like, I have an abundance of time.
Yeah.
And the time didn't change. There's still the same amount of hours in the day. My relationship with time changed, and my belief in hard work, isn't what makes money. Are the choices that we make,
Yeah.
I mean, think about most millionaires out there. They are not working that hard.
I know.
Yeah. And most people that work really hard, like 3 jobs, aren't making any money.
Yeah. Right.
But
You're
it's like
right.
ingrained in us. Oh, if I just work harder, I'll make more money. It's not true.
Right. If I work harder, if I work all the time, all of those things, like running a business, you have the flexibility.
Yeah.
You can, like you said, make the decision of when you want to set those boundaries. Maybe you want to turn the computer off at 5:00 after your kids get home, and you don't want to work in the evenings while they're there. This is something I definitely had to work on, because I just love what I do. And it's easy for me to like have the kids like playing off to the side. And I'm like, oh, let me just check this email really quick. And sometimes I'm like, why? Why do you need to do that? Why do you need to do that? And so, these are definitely things that I have really worked on the past few years and have gotten so much better at. And it really is like just a mindset shift and then taking the action.
Yeah, it's both. Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
believing it to be true, but then also building your schedule to suit that dream life. Like, we set our schedule to fit our dream life. You can't build your life around your work. It has to be your work around your life.
Yes. Yes. What were we talking about yesterday on Voxer? Having a life first business.
Yes. Yeah.
A life first business. Yes. Like, I feel like I've been living that, but when I heard someone say that, I was like, I'm writing that down in my journal like that. Yes. I love that. A life first business. And I'm telling you, for a long time, I was like, business.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, life is way more important.
Yes. And business is part of our life, but it doesn't have to consume our life. And, it's like knowing that time off is part of the work. Like from 8 to 10, my kids leave at 8. I don't touch my computer till 10 most mornings. I'm in a launch right now. So I touched it at 9:30. But still, that's my time. And I had to realize like the journaling, the quiet time, the meditation, walking my dog, those are setting me up mentally to sit down and know exactly what I need to do. Right. And
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that, because like the walking, the journaling, all of that, I've really been doing so great with that this year. And a part of me always has this little piece of guilt, like, oh, I'm on a 1 hour walk right now during the workday.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't I be home working right now? Shouldn't I be getting work done while my kids are at school? But like the rest is the work. The rest is the work. I've had so many.
I sit on my little cushion right there. I'm not near my computer. I have nothing but my journals out, my coffee, and I sit there as long as I want to. And I walk as long as I want to. But you've been doing so good with your walks because you're doing your stories and you're working and walking.
Girl, when I tell you, leverage. Because like I said, I had this little tinge of guilt where I'm like, it's a work day. I'm out for a 1 hour walk. Shouldn't I be home working? And so part of me is like, okay, Angie, how can you also like rest for half of this walk and also leverage the other half of the walk? And so I've been doing like Q&A, like ask your questions. And then on my walk, I've got my phone up on my walk and I'm answering questions. And I love this because I'm doing what I love. I'm walking, I'm moving my body. I'm also doing what I love is helping people, answering questions. Yep. And I can turn those stories into Instagram reels, into podcast episodes. I can have conversations in my DMs. Yep. And I love leveraging that. And also I like to be in movement when I'm talking. For some, it raises my energy. Like if I have to answer a question sitting down at a table doing an Instagram story versus when I'm walking, you're getting a vibe when I'm walking. Okay. Like we're vibing.
So true.
So yeah, that's another great point is leveraging the rest. Like how can you also leverage? So if you are feeling like, I've got to be working all the time, like, okay, but how can you just be relaxing and use that in another way?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've like set up my phone and taken video of me while I'm journaling or while I'm just like in a quiet moment with Luna. And before I was even doing that, like my brain couldn't even think. Like, and that's part of why that quiet, whether it's walking, whatever it is so important, because when we kind of like pull away from our electronics and from the noise, we can think so much clearer. Like the things that you're saying in your stories are probably so much more thoughtful because you're not rushing through it. You have an entire hour-long walk to really think about, okay, what feels thoughtful and like, what do people need to hear from me today versus like, I gotta, that energy.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with watching clean with me videos. Like clean talk. If you go to TikTok and type in, like, I love watching other people clean. And all I think about is like these content creators. So like, this is basically their business. I'm like, they are cleaning the house and they're also creating content.
Oh, and like, they're getting paid for like, to clean the house and to create the content.
Yeah. Like they're just leveraging this in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so that's just like a little tangent of, if you're like me or if you're like us and you're like, I should be working like
You'll be proud of
there a
me. I
little
did a
sliver
time
of
lapse
that?
of myself cleaning my office for this.
Oh, I want to see. You
Oh
got
yeah,
to
I
post
did the
it.
before.
Are you going to post it? Okay,
Yeah, I'll post it. I
perfect.
did the before of like, oh gosh, I'm in Angie's
Perfect.
podcast today, so I got to be looking good. I got to have my backdrop looking good. Can't have my plant was crooked in mine the other day, Angie.
Oh
I
man.
posted it anyway because I don't care, but I'm like, I can't be looking like that on Angie's
Exactly.
podcast.
Girl, it's all good. It's all good. Liz, this was so great. I'm going to recap the 4 unpopular opinions. And the first one we talked about is that sometimes working for free can be your best investment. Okay. Don't always feel like everything has to be attached to a dollar amount for it to be super impactful or valuable for you and your business. Second thing was to think about embracing and collaborating with your competitors. They're not always against you. They can actually work alongside you or create an incredible friendship like Liz and I have.
I was just having
right
a moment
here.
because I was like, God, imagine had we thought of each other that way. We can't hang out because we're confident. Oh my God, like our whole lives will be different.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd be doing.
A moment.
I don't know where we'd be right now. And then the third we have is share the journey, not just the destination. So take people along for the ride, whether you're launching something or going somewhere or trying something new, share the journey, get people really excited about that. And the last one is running your business does not mean you have to work 24/7. You are in control of your schedule, your flexibility, your boundaries.
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 Yeah, boundaries are your responsibility, not anybody else's.
I'm
like,
preach.
I know. I'm like, that thing needs to get out there. I mean, I guess it's not as trendy to talk about boundaries as it was for a while there, but anyway, yes, this was such a good episode. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Hey friend, thank you so much for tuning into the Angie McPherson Show. I hope this episode ignited a fire within you, motivating you to take bold and inspired action. As a gift for listening, I've created a free download of my business toolkit featuring all the essential tools and apps I use to grow my business. Just head over to angiemcpherson.com/toolkit to get your copy. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating or review wherever you're listening. And if you're feeling extra generous, sharing the podcast with a friend goes a long way, and I am truly grateful for your support. For any resources and links mentioned in today's episode, make sure to check out the show notes. Keep moving forward, friend, as each step takes you closer to your goals. I'll catch you next week for another episode.